Hey, what's happening guys, Chris here, bringing you another Star Wars Battlefront weapon guide today, and I'll be taking a good look at the EE4 that came out with the Bespin DLC. Its first appearance in the Star Wars universe was in the comic Showdown on Smuggler's Moon, and was used by a character called Sarna's Staros, hence why the Jabba Contract is called Sarna's Legacy. Although the gun is classified as a blaster rifle, it's actually a hybrid between a pistol and a rifle down to its design, and it plays completely differently to its predecessor, the EE3, and it's better suited for dealing with targets at those closer ranges instead of the ones in the distance. The weapon is constructed with a short and stubby barrel, allowing it to be better at taking out opponents nearby, as unlike the EE3, that fires its shots in an accurate burst, being better for engaging targets further away, the new EE4 fires multiple bolts in a spread shot. I'll go over the weapon's mechanics more a bit later on in the video, but first I'll go over how to actually get it and be able to use the gun in online matches. So first off, you're gonna need to get that Bespin DLC, and once you've got that, head on over to those Jabba contracts with 3,500 credits saved up and purchase the Sarna's Legacy contract. This is then going to allow you to work towards another 3 challenges, and when you've completed all of them, you'll unlock yourself that swanky new gun. Now as for the 3 challenges, you'll need to net yourself a total of 30 kills with the EE3. This can be done on any map or game mode. You don't need to be on the Bespin DLC maps to do this, just so long as you equip the EE3 and blast 30 people away. You'll finish the challenge and be one step closer to the unlock. Getting kills with the EE3 is fairly easy to do, it might take a few matches, but eventually if you keep using the weapon, you'll get there. I'd advise using the gun in mid to long range firefights, taking on other players over distance on some of the game's bigger maps. It's pretty easy to pick people off from afar, especially on the new Bespin maps, with there being a lot of open sightlines. Aim for the chest, and naturally, the gun's recoil should jolt the burst upwards, which can quite often let you land a headshot, killing those other players quicker. As for the next task, you'll need to get 3 blaster rifle streaks. Just like in the other Jabba contracts, a streak is gained whenever you get a certain amount of kills. It used to be 10, but since the May update, it's now only 7. You don't need to get 7 kills in a row or anything, just 7 with a blaster rifle in an online match. Do this a total of 3 times, and that'll be another task ticked off the list. You'll probably get this one without even realising it if you use blaster rifles a lot. It's best going for the first challenge, getting the 30 kills with the EE3, with the EE3 being a blaster rifle, and then let this one unlock itself as you do so. And last of all, you'll need to acquire yourself 10 generator defense events. Now this one might sound a little bit confusing, and there's probably a few of you guys scratching your heads right now wondering what the hell a generator defense event is. Well, thankfully it's nothing too complicated, and you can earn these by jumping into the sabotage game mode in the Bespin DLC. Each round has 3 generators that the rebels are trying to blow up. As the Imperials, you'll need to defend said generators from enemies. To get a generator defense event, just stand near to one of the generators as an Imperial and get a kill, as the rebels come to destroy it. As a rebel, you can also get the generator defense events by standing near to a generator that's armed with a bomb and getting kills against the Imperials. Just so long as you're near to the generator, the game will register the kill as a defense event. If you're having a bit of trouble actually getting kills near the generators, try lobbing thermal detonators at the doorways around the room whenever they open, if you know there's a few enemies advancing from that position. The blast can sometimes wipe out several players at once and easily get you the kills that you need for the task. Also, you're probably best using shorter range weaponry rather than guns suited for long distance, as most of the rooms that the generators are in are actually fairly small, so strong CQC weapons are probably going to be easier to kill with here. Anyway, once you've completed all 3 tasks, you'll then get your very own EE4 blaster rifle to use in combat. The weapon itself is a short to medium range gun with a very high damage and a speedy fire rate. Every time you squeeze that trigger, it's going to fire a quick 2 blast burst, with each burst firing a rapid 3 shots, meaning that you'll essentially be firing a flurry of 6 shots every time the gun is fired. These shots are spread out in a cone and disperse outwards and away from the rifle, scattering through the air over distance. And for this very reason, it makes the EE4 an ineffective weapon to use on targets far away. Though because you're essentially firing a load of powerful shots at a very fast rate, this means that up close you can tear through your enemies and put them down very quickly. And because of this, the EE4 feels a bit like using a semi-automatic shotgun. It's really strong up close, but you're going to lose a lot of accuracy at range, down to your shots spreading out through the air, and with less of them making contact with your target. The EE4 can still deal a fair amount of damage beyond CQC, but it might take a couple more pulls of the trigger to actually kill someone. Typically up close, it usually only takes a couple of blasts to take another player out, though the further away you are, the more it's going to take. And at long range, the gun is only really going to tickle your opponent. Because of that lack of range, you might be best equipping a star card that can deal with enemies further away, such as the cycler rifle or the pulse cannon. This way you can swap over to one of these if someone's just out of the EE4's effective range. The pulse cannon should kill them nice and easy, and the cycler rifle should kill with a headshot or an already damaged enemy which has been softened up by your primary fire. Though you could always go for a body shot with the cycler rifle first, and then if that doesn't kill them, finish them off with a quick burst from the EE4, as despite its lack of power at range, they'll only need to take a tiny bit more damage to put them down. Another way to tackle ranged enemies a little easier is to use the focus fire card, temporarily grouping your bursts closer together and allowing for better range and easier kills from afar. This is good to use for when your range is limited, and when there's a target that's just out of reach for the EE4 to kill by itself, and can save your life when stuck in an open space with no cover. Though of course you could always just reserve the weapon for smaller maps and game modes, if you'd rather use other cards, or if you're getting dominated by guns with better range on those larger maps with long sight lines. So the EE4 feels like a shotgun to use and performs in a similar kind of way. That high damage and rapid rate of fire is going to pepper your targets up close, lighten them up and drop them down to the floor very quickly. Though just be aware of that lack of accuracy over distance. Use the EE4 at close to medium ranges and you'll be able to destroy other players, providing that your shots are on target. So that's pretty much it for this one guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, slap that like button if you did, and subscribe to see loads more and stay updated with fresh content. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.